Oh, the UN. If Lucy asked me to come up with a council of utter idiots who were impotent to actually accomplish anything, I think I'd just model it after you. I will say the Security Council does actually get some shit done, but that's mainly because of the major powers that more or less run the damn thing. The rest of the UN is, by and large, utterly useless, which is just how we like it. We don't want too much interference when we cause a little havoc up here. As much fun as it is to watch them flail around trying to shove the square peg into a round hole, I think it is the fathomless hypocrisy that amuses me the most. I know a thing or two about hypocrisy, but these guys take the cake. When you have countries on the Human Rights Council that also show up in the Human Rights Watch's annual report, and not in a good way, you know you have just a stellar system. Here's another great example. The UN Commission on the Status of Women, or just UN Women for short, and their absolutely amazing work at blowing a lot of hot air and affecting nothing. UN Chief warns that women's rights are under attack worldwide. Worldwide, or just in specific regions. I've done just a wee bit of travel across this godforsaken globe in my time, and I can honestly say that when anyone claims anything is quote-unquote worldwide, they are probably just full of shit. There are a scant few issues that are truly global, so unless you are talking about nuclear Armageddon, you probably ought to roll back the rhetoric just a tad. Our world needs more women leaders, because vagina means you'll make better decisions, right? In a speech to the Commission on the Status of Women on Monday night, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres said that women's rights are being threatened on a global scale. Again with the rhetoric. Global scale? Was the 19th Amendment repealed? Are women now bought and sold as livestock in Europe? Can a woman not drive on her own in Saudi Arabia? Huh? Oh shit, that last one's true. As I asked before, might this be a regional problem? According to Time, Guterres warned that women around the world are facing new assaults on their safety and dignity. It would seem, based on the news I've seen, that women in the Western world are being assaulted by people who, generally, aren't from around there. To not beat around the bush, things like unchecked open arms immigration have led to some pretty nasty clashes and higher crime rates in Europe. Women not from the Western world still just don't have those rights, period. He did not name any specific governments or groups. Of course not, that would be acknowledging there's a problem. But he spoke of challenges that arise from violent extremism, human rights violations, xenophobia, and other threats. Violent extremism. Wonder who he could be talking about there. Surely the KKK has had a rush of lynchings, right? No, never mind. The last one occurred in 1981. Didn't I hear something about a group of people throwing gay guys off roofs? Perhaps he was talking about them? Human rights violations. Okay, broad term. Hard to nail that one down. According to the UN Declaration of Human Rights, everyone has the, quote, right to a standard of living adequate for the health and well-being of himself and his family, including food, clothing, housing, and medical care, and necessary social services, and the right to security in the event of unemployment, sickness, disability, widowhood, old age, or other lack of livelihood in circumstances beyond his control. So, if you are homeless, technically someone, I'm guessing the government, is violating your basic human rights to goods and services someone else must provide. Okay, Skippy, tone down that socialism bullshit, please. Xenophobia. Like how the South Africans have been rioting and killing immigrants recently, or are you referring to Donald Trump wanting to actually enforce established immigration law? The speech appeared to be aimed at President Donald Trump and his proposed refugee and immigrant ban, as well as extremist group ISIS and Russia's recent legislation decriminalizing domestic violence. It's not a ban, you ingenuine hack. It's a temporary stop to ensure proper security measures are in place. For fuck's sake, how many times does this need to be drilled into your skull before it finally seats? ISIS and the law decriminalizing domestic violence are causes for concern, although the Russian law is not nearly as dramatic as they are making it out to be. That being said, it is still wrong to hit someone when not in self-defense. Guterres also acknowledged men's role in making the world a safer place for women. Our world needs more women leaders, he said, and our world needs more men standing up for gender equality. Alright, cue Emma Watson and that he for she thing. Hey, enter stage right. Oh yeah, she's still in bed sulking from her last photo shoot. Well, Guess it's up to the men to save you weak-willed women and force some of you into leadership roles. Effective immediately, all women will be issued 2 pantsuits and a sycophantic white knight. You do have to supply your own cheating husband, however. Executive Director of UN Women, not even going to try to pronounce this, spoke after Guterres and commented on the economic consequences of discrimination against women. Oh, this is fucking rich. The UN Women's Council has anything to say and expects to be taken seriously. Let's have a look at some of the countries on this list and see if anything sticks out about them. Yeah. 5 of these appear on various 10 worst countries to be women lists. UN councils are fucking jokes right along with the rest of the UN. Women are the under-the-radar and undervalued cogs in the bigger wheels of the formal economy, she said. Well, that's a pretty fucking disturbing description of any human being, a cog. How's that for dehumanizing language, feminists? Advancing women's equality in total could bring a potential boost of $28 trillion to global annual GDP by 2025. Yes, women should have equal rights as men, and that includes the right to not work, to not be in leadership positions, etc. If a woman wants to be a stay-at-home mom and she has some way to support herself, aside from the government, she should be able to. If a woman wants to study gender studies at university, go for it. Best of luck getting a job afterwards, though. If she wants to study a STEM field, be my guest, as long as you can hack the courses. Women should have the exact same free agency as men, and you know what? In the Western world, they do. It's the backwards places where warlords and theocracies rule that have the women's equality issues, you dipshits. Their comments came less than a week after International Women's Day and a day without a woman, where women worldwide went on strike, rallied, and wore red in solidarity. Also known as a day where all the men had a nice relaxing pint at the local pub. Curious though, how many women in, let's say Yemen, or Syria, or Sudan decided to strike, rally, and wore a shade of red that was not derived from their own blood? Boy, this kind of shit just baffles me. What is it with not calling a spade and thinking something will change? I came across this phenomenon in the southern US where strippers are called showgirls because it sounds nicer. Call her whatever you want, she still takes off her clothes for money. You can call the female equality problems issues with extremism or xenophobia or whatever you want, but it doesn't change the fact that female equality problems are located in specific regions of the world that have a few things in common, namely poverty, low education, exploitive or corrupt governments, and repressive religions. In the Western world, people have equality. You want this world to be a better place for humanity? Stop pussyfooting around, roll up your sleeves, be honest about what is causing problems, and get to fucking work. Until next time, my minions, via cum diablus amici me.